Hi, welcome. Join me today. We're gonna do some work on planting some bare root strawberries. Today we are going to plant some bare root strawberries in both raised beds and in some of my green stalks. Please excuse the noise if it happens. There is an air show happening from the base and it's very loud and very unfortunate for videoing. But anyways, let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk through here is my green stalks. We've got 4 green stalks in the garden, 1 original and 3 of the leaf version. But if you notice here, I have some arugula bolting. I left that for the bees. But if you notice here, this one, which is my original, the plant's quality just look really different, and even that one have been switched out to multiple different plants over the growing season last year, and everything in here just does a whole lot better. This first one that I put together, I followed the instructions and I bought the expensive soil. I went with Happy Frog. I was able to find it at an Ace Hardware near me. So this one has one of the soils that they recommend, and everything in here did great. Whereas my other 3, I tried to cheap out and I got the just like regular whatever was at Home Depot, cheap $6 for a cubic foot and a half. The air show. Oh, wait a minute. The poor wildlife, eh? Alright, the plant in this leaf and my other 2 leaves. I've got this one back here. To be fair to this one, up until a couple weeks ago, pretty much full shade through the winter and a good part of the fall. And then I've got this one that has some existing strawberries. Looks like my seascapes made it. At first my sequoias made it, but not so much anymore. Yeah, I had Eversweet and sequoia in here, but it looks like all I have left are my seascapes. But just in general, all 3 leaf planters did not do as good as the original because I cheaped out and I bought the cheaper soil, whatever you could find at Home Depot, for I think like $6-7. The Kellogg's brand. I did add some extra perlite in here because the strawberries that came from both of those that died down there, they came with very specific instructions against Happy Frog. We're windy all of a sudden. Oh my god. It came with specific instructions against Happy Frog and most potting soils because they say strawberries are very prone to rotting out due to overwatering, which may be all well and true, and I'm sure in most people's circumstances that could be a thing, but that was one of the reasons why I didn't go with the Happy Frog, because it specifically said against it. But then the more that I think about it, in my particular climate, we're likely to lose strawberries anyways to the sun, not to overwatering. Definitely not due to overwatering. I'm more likely to lose it from underwatering if it's not on drip, or not having them protected from the harsh sun. So for me, those really strongly worded opinions don't fit my circumstance from that company that I purchased those strawberries from. And off on a tangent here, I've noticed that in general, a lot of things that people say or that are recommended or that are just the regular practice, we have to, in these type of climates, we have to be a little bit mindful that we probably need to do things a little bit different and that may not exactly apply, and we need to figure out what works best for us. So anyways, what we're gonna do first is switch out the soil in these, because I did pick up some more Happy Frog. I want to give these the best chance because, like I said, strawberries are a little bit harder out here. Our summers can tend to kill them. So I want to give them their best fighting chance. I do have strawberries elsewhere, which I'll show you. So I'm not putting all my hopes on this. Also, always throw like a shade cloth or something over here, but we'll just see what happens. You never know. That's how you have to figure out what works. You just try it. What I have here are just some bare roots that I picked up from Walmart. $3.24 for 10 bare root plants here. My seascape strawberries are going strong in the different spots that I have them, but I also really wanted a June bearing strawberry. The other ones that I have are ever bearing, so I definitely want both. I'm interested in trying to preserve, either like freezing or making jam, anything like that, so June bearing is more ideal for preserving projects because you get everything all at once, and also the berries are said to be bigger. Hi friends! In this next set of clips, randomly throughout, I lost the audio on some of these clips, and of course it always seemed to be at the beginning of sentences or stories, so I decided to instead go ahead and speed this up and talk through any parts that need to be talked through. Here, the first thing I needed to do in order to clean out this GreenStalk was clearing out the plants. So here you see me digging up my strawberries that are in here. These were the seascape strawberries. There I am telling you that I just made a big, huge mess with the soil. Next, another tier down, I had some onions in there that I planted in the fall. So I was digging those out. Now that I have those plants pulled out, for the most part, what I'm just doing is taking each layer off and dumping them in my bin there. I will reuse that soil. It will not get tossed. I ended up running out of space in that first bin, and I added the rest to my compost. I wanted to go ahead and rinse these off just to get a fresh start. I did see fungus gnats in there, so I just kind of wanted to rinse everything off and start fresh. Okay, now it's time to put all this back together. Part of the things I was talking through in the beginning was how I did dump one of the tiers in there because when I had originally planted this up with that soil, I did have some berry fertilizer in there, and since the strawberries are going back in and I'm planting more strawberries, I decided to mix it since there's already that fertilizer. So here I was letting you know that you do need to fill the green stalks all the way to the top. There is a little line that says fill to the top and it shows you. So I just go scoop by scoop till it's all filled up. There I am showing you that the little watering tray disc inserts that go in between each level. There are little holes in there, so you line them up, one per pocket. I decided to stack mine in place. I do believe GreenStalk recommends that you stack each layer and then assemble it, but these get pretty heavy, so I just instead put a little piece of tape there in that watering opening to keep dirt from falling into the watering tray below and clogging. For the rest of my tiers, I would just put on my little piece of tape, fill them to the top, and repeat. So this tier is where I decided to put my bare root strawberries. Right there I was showing you to make sure you not bury the crown. I did notice that my strawberry bare roots did not look so great, and I was worried that maybe they weren't viable anymore. To be honest, I did sit on them for about a week because I got busy and was doing other things when really they needed to get planted. What I didn't show is when I poured that bag over, the piece of tape disappeared because I was reusing the same one. So I had to disassemble it and take the dirt out from the little watering disc underneath. And now we're at the finish line, just finishing up this last tier, and then I will be replacing my strawberries as well. So I was storing all the plants that I dug out in this last tier of my GreenStalk. So I pulled them all out, filled this tier up, and now it's time to replace my strawberry plants that I removed. These ones here are the seascape that I planted in the fall. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. There's a giant hole in the ground behind me. Every day when I go outside, I basically think to myself, now what can I do besides finishing my trenches for burying this drip? Because I would rather do everything else than finish burying my drip irrigation. The last thing I did here was fill up the little reservoir up top to hydrate that newly replaced soil. And then I went ahead and put some sand around my strawberries because I had seen fungus gnats, and that stops fungus gnats. I took you over to the 2 raised beds that I have against the wall. These are my fake birdies beds that I got from Amazon. They're very cheap. They were 3 tiers, and what I did is I just split them up. Wow, I spaced these horrible. We want one more, and I have. Oh well. And when we go to the other side, we'll just remember, hey, don't space them out like a jackwagon like you did on the other side. These 2 berry beds on either side are the same. The top tier has 2 blueberry plants each with 1 row of strawberries in the front. And the bottom tier is filled with strawberries. And then I had some extra ranunculus when I was planting my fall bulbs and stuck those in. Here I'm just showing you that I use a paint pen and these plastic black tags, and with the Dawn Power Wash, the paint pen ink actually comes off, so I can reuse these. I found that out by accident because I had a tag that was dirty, so I cleaned it off and saw that works, and the paint doesn't seem to fade over the growing season. Me. Why can't I ever find my trowel? Also me when I'm done using it. So that's today's project all done. We got this soil switched out. I got my strawberries that were previously here. These are seascape, and my onions that were previously here replanted, and some bare root strawberries, June bearing all-star from Walmart that I don't have that much faith in, but we'll see what happens. And then in my 2 berry beds in the back, I also got my all-star over here, and actually 8, 4 and 4. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.